What's up, dude? I've got a confession to make. Look, I love rice and beans. I love them. I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. They're great. Today, I'm gonna show you 3 flavor-packed, cheap recipes that I know you are absolutely gonna love. Now let's go! We'll start with the green rice recipe today, then we'll move into the red rice, and finally my favorite, the Caribbean rice, which is the last one. It's almost like a quick way of making rice and peas. It's not exactly authentic, but it's super delicious. So first, measuring out 2 cups of rice. Recipe will be in the description. And we're not monsters here on this channel. We always wash our rice. And when making standard rice, I always rinse it out 3 times, starting by putting just a little bit of water and then gently mixing for about 10 seconds in a circular motion with my fingertips. And then I'll fill with more water, dump that out, and then repeat this process 3 times. Next, we're putting it straight into a strainer because we need to dry this rice out a little bit. And in the next step, you're gonna see exactly why, because we're toasting it off in oil, which is a great technique when you're making these kind of red and green rices. Deepens the flavor and changes that texture to make it even more fluffy. Sometimes I like to do one of these like that. Be careful that you don't get the rice flying everywhere. You need to keep the energy going down, not up. See, if you go too up, it goes like this. So I'll just leave that for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to drain and dry. Next, we're making the mix for the green rice. Check this out. 1 poblano pepper. I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up. I like to do it like this. And I'm gonna core it as I kind of unroll it here. Just be careful. Since this is all getting blended, you can literally just really rough chop it. We're also doing 1 jalapeno, and I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of core it with this little knife here. You can buy little jalapeno cores, actually. They work really well. Just give it a little taparoo. And I think standard protocol whenever you get a chili is just to taste a little piece. Sometimes you'll get a chili that's just a straight up dud. Comment if you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes they're really spicy. This one's right in the middle, so I'm happy with that. Blender, and we're simply gonna throw all this stuff into the blender. Poblano, jalapeno, some chopped yellow onion, garlic, whole bunch of cilantro, look at that, a lot. And also just a little bit of Italian parsley. That's gonna add some really nice deep green color. And now we're gonna add a little bit of hot stock here. This is chicken stock. You could do vegetable stock, obviously, if you're vegetarian. Straight in, and let's give it a blend. Vitamix certainly made quick work of that. Now look at that unbelievably vibrant green color, so beautiful. Into a medium heat pot, I'm adding avocado oil. This is for toasting the rice. Rice should be more or less dry, and it goes. If there's a little bit of water left over and you hear it crackle like with mine, it's not a big deal. If you've never tried this technique with rice, highly suggest. It is very cool. That's about 10 minutes of toasting right there. We've got a lot of golden brown little rice pieces. That should be enough. You could take it a little further if you want, but I think this is absolutely fine. Now check it out. In we go with more chicken stock and your green sauce. Right now I'm gonna keep the heat on high and let it boil for about 2 minutes. Make sure you've got all that rice pushed in from the outside. You get 1 little piece of rice on that edge, gets mixed back in, otherwise someone's gonna bite down on it, break a tooth. May seem like a joke to you, but for me that ruins the experience, right? So now, heat all the way down to just low, very low, and we're gonna start a 15-minute timer. 15 minutes has elapsed. Now kill the heat and start another 15-minute timer. That last 15 minutes of steaming with the heat off is crucial. And this whole time, I haven't peeked at it once, mind you. I think when people are cooking, they're peeking too much. They're opening the oven, they're opening pots. Just don't do it, don't peek. Trust the process. Everything will unfold just as it should be. You're driving at night, you can only see as far as the headlights can show you, right? That's all you need to worry about. Just keep going, the rest will show itself. 15 minutes of steaming, heat off. There you go. Wow. And you just get hit with this herbaceous smell. Is that a word? I don't know. At this point, let's fluff it up a little bit. Wow, and look at that. It's extremely fluffy feeling. To finish the green rice, I'll just heat up a can of the Goya black beans, then just strain them out. And then I'll simply just drop them into the rice, and then I'm just gonna fold these through, just like so. I like the way the black beans look with the green rice. But of course, if you wanna do another kind of bean, get creative, man. Freestyle it up. Next, let's do the red rice, and we're following the exact same process as the green rice, meaning we're gonna toast it first. Avocado oil down, onion, just diced. And we'll first cook this onion down for about 10 minutes or so until it's nice and soft and translucent and has a little bit of color on it. At this point, we're gonna add some garlic, followed immediately by your rice. Now, same deal, just like the green rice, we're gonna do toasting, except we're gonna do it a little bit lighter this time because there's garlic in here and we don't want it to burn. Now, while that rice toasts, throw a couple tomatoes into a blender. Those were just Roma tomatoes, and now I'm adding some tomato paste, which I cooked in a dry pan for about 5 minutes just to remove that tartness. rice and deepen the flavor. I always like doing that with tomato paste. Going in with a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder. Remember, as you're doing this, don't forget to stir your rice. Don't burn it. I'll add a little splash of water just to help it turn, and here we go. Here we go, just 30 seconds of blending. Tomato mix done. Just about 6 minutes of toasting this time, and we're adding a tablespoon of chicken bouillon. And apparently this is the secret abuela sort of technique to get the flavor deep into the rice. Wow, and it certainly does smell flavor packed. So I'm gonna let that cook in here for just about a minute and 30 seconds. Now in with the tomato puree, tomato sauce, or whatever you wanna call it, tomato pulp, tomato stuff. And again, I'm gonna cook this another 2 or 3 minutes just with the tomato. Keep the heat high at this point, nice and sloppy. Now we go in with the hot water. Keep the heat high, and I'm dropping in a jalapeno that's cut in half. It's a red jalapeno, and just a few sprigs of cilantro, just like this. Now I'm letting that boil again for about 2 minutes, and then lid on, heat all the way down to low, and we're gonna follow the exact same process as the last rice. So start a 15-minute timer. 15 minutes is up, turn the heat off again, and start another 15-minute timer. We're gonna let it steam just like the green rice. As we're in the middle of cooking up something hearty and delicious today, we have one secret ingredient, and those are Goya beans. Whether you're making some tacos, some chili for the whole family, or one of these rice and bean recipes from this video, Goya's got you covered with their versatile range of beans to take your cooking to the next level. Goya is best known for its flavor, featuring whole, plump, and tender beans with a smooth and creamy texture. And you can use them right out of the can to save a ton of time in the kitchen. Plus, Goya beans come in a variety of options like black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, and even chickpeas. So you can get really creative in the kitchen no matter what cuisine or dish you're cooking. Goya beans have also been awarded the prestigious Chef's Best Award for surpassing quality standards. If you know me, you know I absolutely love beans. I use Goya's kidney beans when I'm making my Caribbean rice, and they have always just been the perfect match. Next time you're shopping in the grocery store, look for Goya beans. You will not be disappointed. You can also click the special link down in the description to purchase these beans now. Now let's get back to the recipe and watch these beans work their magic. Red rice has been resting for 15 minutes, and here we go. Wow. Love the way that jalapeno and cilantro looks kind of like stamped on top. Very beautiful. At this point, you can get out the jalapeno and the cilantro. It's sort of done its job. You can eat those, nothing wrong with them. Now for my favorite part, fluffy. Look at that. Look how fluffy that is. I'll tell you what, but letting it sit and steam is such an important part of making rice that's fluffy. For me, it's a must. We always get Marcus to try spicy things. He likes doing it. I don't make him do this.
I don't have a choice.
You don't have to eat the whole, that's spicy?
Oh, it's a bad one. I had a lot of jalapenos. That one's pretty hot.
Ooh. Oh, dude, you had a big bite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You know how sometimes a jalapeno is basically a green bell pepper? That one's Satan. Oh!
To finish the red rice, I'm just gonna open up a can of Goya pinto beans, and I'll simply just heat these up in the liquid for a few minutes before straining them out. And then I'll just drop them through the red rice and give it a good mix. Yes, dude. I will always love rice and beans. I don't know, it's the ultimate kind of cheap food. For our last recipe, we're making sort of like rice and peas. I'm calling it sort of because it's like cheating in a way. We're not cooking the beans because we have Goya. But honestly, I've been making them for years and they are super, super good. I will stand by them. And for these, we're just gonna cook regular rice to start. I washed it just like before. And they say the ratio for rice is 2 to 1, meaning 2 parts water, 1 part rice. Although I think you should definitely go less than that. So if I have a cup of rice, I would do 1.5 cups of water, but I even take it a little further back. So for 2 cups of rice, I'm using 2 3/4 cups of water. Now with this lid on, we keep this lid on the whole time. I'm gonna first turn the heat on high, bring this to the boil. You can tell when it's boiling because you see all the steam coming out the side. It took about 4 minutes. Now I'm turning the heat down all the way to low again. We're gonna start a 10-minute timer this time. And while that rice cooks, we're gonna start with some coconut oil. I love the coconut flavor of this recipe. We're just gonna let that melt down, get a little hot. Heat's around medium. In we go with the onions, just diced. I'm gonna hit them with salt right now. If for some reason you cook the rice in chicken stock instead of water, definitely don't put much salt, if any at all, depending on how salty your stock is. I'll continue cooking these down for probably about 10 minutes. At this point, I'm going in with my garlic and habanero. Depending on how spicy you like it, you can put more or less habanero. I did about 1/2 one, and that will give it a sort of medium level of spice, which is my preferred level. I don't know about you, but whenever anything is too spicy, that's ruined the whole experience for me. I just can't handle it. Also going in with some stripped thyme, optional. You don't have thyme, no big deal. I've always loved putting thyme into anything with hot oil. Listen. Makes this lovely little crackling sort of fireplace sound. Next, Sergeant Gilbert reporting for duty, my little sentient black pepper friend. He became aware back in 2020 Guy's been around. A little bit of allspice. This is kind of the hero flavor, if you want to call it that, that's in here. Just about a teaspoon or so. And a very small amount of brown sugar. Now, I'm gonna cook that in just for about 30 seconds. Unlock all those beautiful flavors. Wow, smell that. Woo! And last but certainly not least, 1 can of coconut milk. Now just melt everything down together. Now let it boil down for about 5 minutes to thicken up. And now I'm adding in the Goya kidney beans. I'm gonna do about 1.5 cans. And again, we'll keep that heat high. I'll cook this down for another 2 or 3 minutes. 10 minutes is over, turn the heat off and start another 10-minute timer. And there's our white rice just after steaming. And I'm gonna have to get it out because I can't mix it in the same pot. There's not enough room. As you can see here, it's nice and fluffy, nicely cooked. Now check it out, here's what I do. I know it's cheating. This isn't like authentic rice and peas because that's pretty serious, but I'll tell you what, for a quick recipe, it's good. And with this, fold it all through. And after I fold this through, I actually like to kind of cover it up and let it steam a little bit more so it can get a little bit fluffier again. Although you can just eat it right now, obviously. Give it a really good mix. I just love Caribbean flavors. I love coconut, I love habanero. Ideally, you would want to use something like Scotch bonnet, actually, but they're hard to find here. I know what I'm having for dinner, rice and beans. So I'll cover that and I'll just let it sit for about 6 or 7 minutes. You don't have to do this, but I do like the texture I get from it. Only thing left to do is just serve these all up and let's give them a taste. Marcus doesn't really like rice or beans, he said, so I'm not sure this would be his favorite video. Let's start with the green rice. Really simple, but I like it.
Similar to rice, I was gonna say add chipotle.
It's okay, people like chipotle rice. Tastes good. If you're not a fan of cilantro, it probably isn't gonna be the rice for you, but for me that's fresh and nice. I like it. I like black beans too. Here we go, and this is the red rice with pinto beans. We chopped up a little bit of the steamed jalapeno that was cooked with the rice for the garnish.
I like that a lot better.
That's really good, man. I'm immediately going for another bite. It just tastes like if you went to your like favorite sort of Mexican restaurant and you love their rice, something like this. Fluffy. It's got a lot of flavor. Pinto beans fit right in. Spice is mild, which I like. Nice.
Yeah, I like it because it's like, it's hearty. And whenever I have rice that is supposed to be this, it's always way too dry, or that's why I'm not a fan. But I'd eat this all the time.
And now this one, which I made up some years ago now. What do you think, Marcus?
One of my favorite ways to have rice is with coconut, and this tastes really good.
I'm just a sucker for Caribbean flavors, coconut especially. I love the fruitiness of the habanero. This one's sort of between mild and medium on the spice meter. A little spicier than the red, but it's totally doable for like everybody. Like it's not, I wouldn't say this is spicy, just a little. There you go, rice and beans for any occasion. Whatever you want, do it whenever you want.
Make it.
Make it. Thank you for hanging out with me and watching today. If you are looking for more recipes, I have an ebook now called Master in the Making that has 55 of my personal favorite recipes, and that will be linked down in the description, as well as a bunch of products and tools and equipment that I use here in this kitchen if you're looking to stock your own. If you want to keep learning today, here are 2 more cheaper sort of comfort food recipes I think you're really gonna love. And until next time, you know I love you and I'm out.